January 7, 2026. Today is Wednesday here in Australia, and that's my shopping day. I went to the gym. I started going to a gym about 5 weeks ago. It's a special gym. I know it doesn't look it, but I go to a disabled gym. So I am legally blind. I have less than 10 degrees central vision. I was diagnosed with a condition called Retinitis Pigmentosa. So, you know, when we were kids, we used to put our hands up to our eyes like this. If you do that, that's my vision at the moment. Apparently degenerative, but as you lose your vision, you lose balance. You lose colour, you lose depth perception, and you also have your head looking down. Quite often having your head looking down, so you know where you're walking, which does leave your head. Then you can't see the top, so you run into things. Anyway, it's can be challenging, but God's grace has been extremely, just blows my mind how I got through the diagnosis. Really, I was having trouble with depth perception, and I couldn't work out if what I was seeing was a gap, a step, or a shadow. And so I went to the ophthalmologist and found out I was 80% blind, 80, which was crazy. I couldn't understand how I could not notice that, but the ophthalmologist said our brains are incredibly amazing, and they fill in those gaps for you. And yeah, long story short, I basically gave up my license, my work, and I was put into forced retirement. Had a massive breakdown. Seriously, I did. Panic attacks. I used to be a qualified counsellor helping people with those kinds of conditions, and there I was, curled up in a fetal position. It was a very, very difficult time. Sometimes still is, to be honest. So, but anyway, back to the gym. So, sorry, I'm walking the dog. Hang on a second. Okay. So the gym, I started going for mental health reasons. And for my age, I'm over 50. So we need, muscle work, and we need to do weight exercises for our bones, good for our heart. But yeah, also because of my vision, to get good core balance and to stop the stoop neck. I think that's what they call it, stoop neck. And it was difficult today going to the gym. I also have a fast heart rate. Goes too fast even on beta blockers. So I felt a bit wussy today. I had to take a few breaks for a few minutes and to continue and not be sick or something or pass out. So that's what I've been up to today. Don't really know why I'm sharing this, but I know I can share that about God's grace, really, when we're going through really challenging times. Even though I was in a state of deep depression, anxiety, there was a huge amount of grief over the loss of my independence. Not so much about the degenerative side of things. So I went from 80, I'm now 90%. On those protractors, from school, the protractors, the little half circle rulers that had those degrees. So most people have a full protractor of vision. I have one of those little tangents. So that's, and I don't know why, I'm just fiercely independent still. I just can't drive. I wish I had a ride-on mower. I'd feel like I was driving. Yeah, so, but every day it really does take a lot of energy to remain safe. Like keeping an eye out for snakes in particular, because we've had a couple here, because I breed quail as well for the eggs and to butcher them for meat, and so that attracts snakes obviously, but I just don't want to give up everything yet. Not yet, I shouldn't say yet, but yeah, so every day I've really got to lean on God's grace to keep me safe, which is in God's word. God's angels protect our feet from hitting a stone. I can't remember that one off the top of my head. I'll put that in the description. That His grace is sufficient. That's another one I'll put in the description. That everything, I know I've mentioned this actually just about here when I was walking up last time, that in all things God does work for our good and for His glory. You know, He works in all things. God works for the good of those who love Him, who've been called according to His plans, and I've been called. Anyone who knows Jesus has been called, not to just sit in a chair, not to just sit in a pew, but to pray, to encourage others, lots of things really. And yeah, so I'm rambling. That's okay, I'm okay with that. I just wanted to share a little bit more about myself and my day, God's hand upon my life, despite the challenges. There's a lot of challenges, you know, when you lose your income as well, because legally you can't get approved for a rental property. And there's a really amazing testimony behind why I am where I am. And even though there's no buses, taxis or Ubers, I have a wonderful support worker who comes once a week and helps me get the things done. Come on you, let's go. But there is really an amazing testimony about that, and I will share that one day, because we've been here nearly 3 years and it's just been a place of refuge. It's affordable. It's not perfect, of course, but you do with what you're given, and I'm able to garden and breed my quail and get peace and quiet. I mean, it's just such a stunning area. I've met some amazing people out here with the fellowship that I go to or try to get to once a fortnight. And yeah, so that's about the size of it. I'm going to put some scriptures in the description, and I'm going to declare God's goodness over my life and also over your life, despite whatever challenges you might be going through, despite what place you're in. You know, it doesn't matter where you are, God meets us here in all of us. So I pray that this blesses you, that you're having a great day, and I will see you in another video sometime soon.